Hey guys, for today's thought on the third day, it is Wednesday, leading up to NAWCQ, I wanted to talk about what I believe could very much possibly be the resurgence of Altergeist. Now, at NAWCQ, I don't think Altergeist are going to get more than a few tops, and I think it's pretty unlikely that more than one Altergeist goes past top 8. However, that is saying quite a bit to the deck's credit that I think a deck could make it to top 8 or even higher, considering that it's fallen out of most top cuts for premier events for, a good 3-4 months now, maybe even longer at this point. So why do I think that Altergeist is a good pick for this event? Well, first of all, I will say, although this is not really maybe the best reason, it did win German Nationals, which to me proves that there is some merit to the deck. Yes, you can get lucky, but when you're playing a really long event like that, and German Nationals is one of the largest, if not the largest, European Nationals tournament, if your deck can win that, likely it had something to do with the deck itself. You're not going to be able to just pure luck your way into that. So let's look at sort of what that player was doing. So first of all, Altergeist. It's a fairly small engine. You need your 9 or 10 Altergeists. You need your 2 protocols, 1 manifestation, 3 personal spoofing, and then the rest of the deck can kind of be whatever you want. Obviously, you should be playing Extravagance, which, by the way, is one of the best cards in the game if you can run it. Simple +1 at the cost of some extra deck cards. So if you don't need your extra deck, super powerful card. Despite the lack of consistency in Altergeist overall, that is their biggest flaw. Extravagance goes quite a distance to remedying that to some degree, and it just gives them so much power as a control deck. One of the best things about a control deck is when it has good card economy, because you're doing a lot of 1-for-1 trades, and so Extravagance being able to just put you up a card is absolutely fantastic. Also, as a result, hand traps fit in quite well, unlike with a lot of the decks this format. A lot of decks aren't even playing hand traps. Salamangreat obviously plays quite a few. It can play as many as 12 or 14, but other than that, Thunder Dragons usually plays none. Sky Strikers play none. Orchist maybe play Ash Blossom, maybe. A lot aren't. Some Orchist decks are playing no hand traps at all in the main deck as well. So I think that makes Altergeist fairly unique in the metagame, as just being one of the few decks that still likes to run hand traps. The German Nationals Topping 1 played the 3 Ash and the 3 Infinite Impermanence, which, by the way, have synergy with Multi-Faker, along with being one of the best hand traps in the game right now. Monster Effect Negation on either player's turn is very valuable. You can look at some of the other traps he was playing. Solemn Strike is a very strong card, going both first and second. Compulsory Evacuation Device is a card that we haven't seen played very much recently, but it's just a good chainable trap that really hurts a lot of combo decks right now. Salamangreat, if you compulse back their Sunlight Wolf or even just their initial Gazelle summon, that can be very punishing. Thunder Dragons, obviously, they need their Link Arrows, so sending back a Saryuja or one of their other combo pieces like one of the Guard Dragons, all great options for things to send back to the extra deck that are very punishing. And of course, Orchist, sending back the Rusty Bardiche or the first Nightmare they summon the Service of the Phoenix or something like that. Makes it very difficult for those decks to do their full combos and get into the game. If they are, doing their combos halfway, that is perfect for Altergeist, because Altergeist can then very effectively trade with them and simplify the game state and get it to a point where it is easy for them to win. Evenly Matched is a card that I think is worth looking at. Again, like Infinite Impermanence, it has synergy with Multi-Faker. The German Nationals winning list main decked Evenly Matched, which is a bit of a difference. So you could choose to go second with Altergeist. That is a perfectly viable option. Also, even if you're intending to choose first when you win the die roll, Evenly Matched is a very strong card, just in the chance that you lose the die roll, which should happen roughly 50% of the time. Obviously, there's variance from tournament to tournament. Maybe you'll get lucky and win all the die rolls one time, but you could also get unlucky and lose all the die rolls. And you can side out the Evenly Matched if you're choosing to go first, or you anticipate your opponent to allow you to go first. I don't know why they would ever do that when you're playing Altergeist, but maybe if they're playing a deck that only goes second. Also, Evenly Matched can be fine just in the middle of the game sometimes. If you're playing a grind out against Sky Striker, True Draco, the mirror match, you can just activate Evenly Matched in the middle of the game when you start losing, and all of a sudden the game's even again. Evenly matched. Funny how that works. So I really like the ability of Altergeist to both run Evenly Matched, but also have some synergy with it, with the multi-faker. I think it's just absolutely incredible to be able to be going up against a deck like Orchist and drop the Evenly Matched. You can bait out the counter trap, or if they didn't set the counter trap, you just clear most of their board. You can summon the multi-faker. It starts to work through a lot of their board. Obviously, they have Fog Blades, so it can be a little messy. It's not an easy win, but it starts to really give you a chance to work through their board and maybe flip a floodgate on them in games 2 or 3. And you can find wins in games where you shouldn't ordinarily be able to with other decks. I'm a big fan of Altergeist's ability not only to run some trap cards that you don't ordinarily get to play in other decks, not only their ability to play Pot of Extravagance, their ability to fit in hand traps, their ability to abuse Metaverse and cards like that. So the unique advantage that Altergeist also has is that their monsters are spellcasters. So Secret Village of the Spellcasters is a floodgate that really no other deck has access to right now. And if you activate that against Sky Strikers, it is more often than not a free win in that matchup, which makes it an incredibly appealing choice, because there are very, very few decks that really have any auto wins against any of the big 4 decks, being Sky Striker, Salamangreat, Orchist, and Thunder Dragon. It's just so rare for you to find any of the rogue decks or lower tier decks that really have such a favorable matchup against the deck. Now, without Secret Village, yes, Sky Strikers can be a bit of a scary matchup for Altergeist. If they just really don't have any floodgates, or they're unable to set up Hextia early, it can be difficult, but they just have such a strong auto win card. Obviously a great Thunder Dragon matchup in general, just being a trap deck. If you get to go first against Thunder Dragons, it's going to be very difficult for them to push through your back row. A lot of them aren't main decking Twin Twisters right now, which leaves them vulnerable to Mystic Mine, which is the other thing, kind of the counterpart to Secret Village that is available to you. Now, the German list didn't play Mystic Mine, but I do believe some other lists have been, and I think it's an opportunity worth exploring, especially if you can incorporate Metaverse. It gives you more access to Secret Village of the Spellcasters, and it also allows you to put Mystic Mine on the field on your opponent's turn, which Thunder Dragons, again, are likely going to be very vulnerable to. If they don't have a Twin Twisters or some other out to it, it is a free win. And so Altergeist are one of the better decks in my mind for using Mystic Mine. They often don't put too many monsters on their side of the board to start. Oftentimes it's normal summon Marionetter, maybe normal summon Meloseek, make Link Karibo, or just if you already have Multi-Faker in hand, just sit on Multi-Faker in hand and set a bunch of trap cards. And so as soon as they even just put like 2 monsters down on the field, you can activate Mystic Mine on them using Metaverse, and that is a free game win. So there are a few reasons there that I've gone over now as to why I like Altergeist as a deck in general, and also this format. And I think they are actually set up pretty good, the best they have been in several months. A card that I haven't even talked about yet is Crackdown. Not all decks are opting to play Crackdown because it is vulnerable to being destroyed by spell and trap destruction. But again, another very impactful trap card that we don't really get to see outside of trap decks. They're kind of stuck inside Altergeist, Guru, Control, and Paleo. Paleo has some issues right now, like not being able to run Extravagance and being a little slow in many regards, especially if they don't open Swap Frog. Guru Control I also like quite a bit. I think, like Altergeist, it has a lot of the same things going for it. I'm not quite as big of a fan because I don't think it operates under Mystic Mine as well, and it does not have access to abusing Secret Village as well. So some field spell floodgate deficiencies, and just in general, I'm a much bigger fan of Multi-Faker than the engine they have going with Guru. But I could definitely see how a lot of the things I said apply to Guru Control, and we may end up seeing a few Guru Control tops instead of Altergeist, or maybe a combination of the two. So we'll just have to see. I'm really tempted to take Altergeist myself. I don't think I will. I have a lot of other decks in mind, some Orcust variant, Salamangrate, a lot of cool fun decks to play right now. So if you're still trying to figure out what deck you're playing, I would hope you've figured it out by now, given that it's only a couple days before the tournament. But if you haven't, give Altergeist a thought, and I will see you guys in my next couple videos, next couple days, and then hopefully I'll see some of you at WCQ. Bye.